So our next speaker has founded a multiple successful ventures, but in his last project, he's making really tech waves. His company, Edumena, is revolutionizing the way we think about education and technology. From United Arab Emirates, and he's not local, he's local here, but he lives there, and his name will tell you, Mr. Marko Kazic. Oh my God, you have fans here. Marko. Marko. I know that you want to explore the stage, and the stage is all yours.
Thank you very much. Excellent.
If you go off this stage, you will see people there showing, no, go back. So keep it in the box.
I will try. I like to do cardio, so yeah.
Amazing, Marko. Stage is yours.
Awesome, perfect. Hello, everyone. I'm very happy to be here. This is a huge stage. First time I'm a big stage like this. And secondly, I'm very glad that they invited me because it's happening in my home country. So I do come from Serbia, but I'm living in Dubai for past 10 years. And two things that I have to mention more before we start. I have two ladies that are very important to me here today, my mom and my sister. So if you see them crying or something, just don't pay attention. And the second thing, I got quite a lot of DMs on Instagram last night, and people are having really high expectations from me, from my presentation. So I just want to lower those expectations. You know, it's weekend. I'm also sleepy like you guys. I also went out last night, etc. There's a few jokes before we kick in. So I am a serial entrepreneur who founded several companies. We will be talking only about one today. I'm also a marketer. I am a digital enthusiast. And I would like to run into my presentation immediately because I'm limited with time, and I timed my presentation as it's quite longer. What I want to say also in advance is, please, there is quite a few slides that are very interesting. We're going to run through them, but please prepare your phones to take some photos because I'm 100% convinced they will give you value, okay? So, the thing, and today's topic will be the crossroads is just a fancy name for it. But what we are going to talk about today is two things: technology and education, and how these two things combine and go hand in hand, okay? Whenever we have one of these segments going much further in this race, and they shouldn't race with each other, they should go hand in hand, we always have big social impacts. And history always teaches us lessons, right? And history repeats, even more importantly. So we, in the past, had a situation, and I like using examples so you guys can visualize what I'm talking about. We had a specific example when printing shops, right, printing machines actually were invented. That was amazing technologically. It was, you know, a revolution then. But what we, hi Istok, how are you? Sit down, man. So we had an issue, right? Because so many people didn't know how to read. And printing machines were amazing because of two things. Because you could print the books, right? So much more on scale. And the second thing, you could, the production was much cheaper, right? But that was only good for the people who knew how to read, right? But not for the majority who didn't know how to read. And that created a big gap, and that was a big social impact that had to be closed. That's very important to mention. And if you think about this, it's happening right now. It's happening nowadays because of digitalization, right? Because of AI, automation, and everything that is going on. And I believe firmly, and you will see through slides, maybe I'll convince you, and you will realize that we are going through that right now, through that impact. If you think about something which is pretty crazy, is that just few people in Silicon Valley are actually dictating how we live nowadays. I'm going to mention two things. First one is the way we shop, right? They change few features and they change our shopping experience in every way possible. That's number one. And number two, let's say the way how we communicate. Many of us use, let's say, WhatsApp, right? Someone there in Silicon Valley, they change something and impacts the whole world. That's not fair because you have few people who are super tech savvy and they're creating such a big impact, and there is so many people on the other side of the spectrum who don't even understand what is going on and don't understand what is happening at all. Okay, so that is not okay. There are certain ways how this gap can be closed, and next several slides are communicating that, how that can be fixed. Thing number one that I want to mention before I ran you through some statistics is, I think everyone is focusing now on AI and how all these things are working, but they're forgetting the other side. You remember the gap that I mentioned before, and you will see now these numbers. This gap is huge, and I think even the business opportunity, and it's more impactful and nicer to close this gap rather than rushing into improving technology more and more and more, right? So look at this, 254 million children, they don't have education at all. In internet days, they don't have education. This is really not normal. Second thing is 47% of the graduates don't get jobs. Don't get me wrong, I'll back this up. They either don't get jobs, so they don't have a job at all, or second thing, they don't work in the profession they finished university at, right? So that's number two. And number three, around 20 million searches from 2019 approximately happened on Google for online education, and not just for these specific words, but a mix of these words. So you can understand the supply and demand of this. Okay, so we talked about the impact, right, that it can have. Second thing that we will talk about is EdTech as a market specifically. And I know there are some people who are here in EdTech space, so I'm sure this will give them value. Market size in 2021 is valued at 88 billion. Okay, it's pretty big. There are even bigger industries, much bigger actually. But look at the jump. Just a year after, you have 105 billion, right? And you have 36 unicorns. Just for the reference, unicorn is a term for a company that is valued over $1 billion US. And the actual projection for 2029 is a little bit above $319 billion. So you can see how huge is this actually. So we spoke about the impact, then we spoke about EdTech space, and now we are talking about the importance of technology in education. I'll try using examples here as well. First thing is that it's accessible, very important. So many people now have smartphones, so it has to be accessible. We don't have a reason why not to make it. Also to be accessible on any device, not just one, right? Then second thing, personalized learning. Learning we are used to is personalized learning. The best example will be, let's say, imagine you are in primary school, right? And your professor, your teacher comes and he knows your name. We were considering that as a personalized experience, but that's not personalized experience. Now we have data to back that up. So now we know what is personalized experience. It can be in a sense of, we know that Stefan, right, likes watching educational videos on Sundays more than on Mondays. Then we know the length of the videos, we know the length of the course, the average number of lessons, etc., etc., etc. So it can be catered to his experience. Second thing, I know attention span is getting shorter because of the social media and the clips, etc. And that's why there are ways how you can create lessons, courses, workshops, etc., that are more engaging using those tools and those methods. And the last thing, it provides a much wider range of resources. Again, coming back to, let's say, elementary school, you have, let's say, 8 different subjects, right? History, math, English, biology, etc. But nowadays, because of the internet and all these platforms, etc., you have wider range, so you can use it and do much more stuff and just check what are your other interests. Okay. Now, please take your phones because ChatGPT and Midjourney that everyone knows about are not on this slide. I'm going to rush through these slides very quickly. These are AI tools we have used or our friends have used, and they work. They're very good. They will make your life actually easier. So let's go through them. Newton provides personalized learning experience based on individual needs. Smart Sparrow provides real-time feedback and reports with actionable steps, so it's much better than grades in school. Mini course generator, it cannot really help you 100% to create a course, but it can cut down some time and give you ideas. Adobe Firefly helps you with, it's a game changer in video editing. Adobe Enhanced Speech, say goodbye to expensive mics. I was buying expensive mics, don't need them anymore because of this tool. Then we have Narakit, very similar tool. You can use it to create voiceovers. And Opus Clip, this one is pretty cool because it cuts your let's say your long YouTube videos into short clips so you can distribute them on different platforms like TikTok, Instagram, Facebook Reels, YouTube Shorts, etc. There is one more slide, so keep the phones, please. Fireflies. So this one is huge because so I found out this through a guy that I collaborate with. He's from Israel, and we're supposed to have a Zoom call, and we're supposed to be alone. And I was like, wow, I see in a chat room few people, and I didn't understand. So I asked him, why are we not alone? He said, no, these are just my AI assistants. One of them will record the call, the other one will take the important meeting notes. So I was like, wow, so we started using that as well. Then we have Gamma. It allows you to create amazing presentations and decks, especially people who struggle to make them nice and beautiful. This tool is awesome. Copy AI, I'm sure there is many marketeers in the room that are already using this. It's not 90% great and accurate, etc., but again, it can cut your time. Autopod. Stefan, my video editor, videographer, he's somewhere around. He told us about this tool. So basically, you can create a podcast, let's say, right? And this podcast is 1 hour long. So video editor needs at least 3 more hours to edit these things out, right? And now this can be done only in 5 minutes, actually in less than 5 minutes. So it's very, very helpful when it comes to time. Browse AI, it extracts data from any website, for example, LinkedIn job posts, right? So this is pretty cool. Humata, it uses it to learn, create, and analyze documents 100% faster. Sorry, not 100 times faster. We used this tool sometimes, especially with our legal stuff and documents. And the last one, role model, it customizes your own AI personal assistant. Basically, you can clone yourself, but it doesn't work instantly and immediately. It has some learning. You have to feed it with data, so then you can use it much better. Okay, this was tiring for me, at least. All right, I know this will sound a bit controversial, right? We all think AI is hyped up because we see it on social media, everyone is mentioning and stuff. My opinion is AI is completely underhyped. Why? One very simple sentence. AI will either optimize you or replace you. There is no third thing. And I can back this up with other stuff. Don't want to scare you off. There is a reason how we can fix these things, right? And government is the first one who should consider this as a potential huge problem that can happen, right? As I mentioned, I'm living in Dubai for past 10 years, and there is so many amazing reasons why am I there, but one of them is because they have a forward-thinking government, and I absolutely love this about them. I know someone will say, oh my God, they are rich, etc. Yes, they are, because of oil. But because of their forward thinking, they also understand where is the new oil. And we all heard the saying, data is the new oil. And they know and understand this. What they did, they acted immediately. They're the only country in the world who have a minister of AI. Minister of Artificial Intelligence. How cool is that, right? Who is taking care of all these questions that are happening. So please allow me to brag a little bit. I was blessed enough to know him, to sit down with him from time to time, right, and exchange some thoughts. And then he, we obviously spoke, so I would like to steal some of his thoughts and share them with you so I can provide you value for someone who I find extremely smart. So he was telling me an example of US drivers, right? We are talking about bus drivers, truck drivers, etc. And US has around 300 million people plus, right? And the driver number approximately is around few million, right? So he told me, Marko, like we could, if US allows, because they do have autonomous vehicles, if they allow vehicles to change these people, you have few million people on the street, right? That totally makes sense. And if we go back, right, to the first point, that's where government has to be responsible. They have to control this stuff and not let just AI fly everywhere around it, right? He also said one more thing. This happened in the past, 2005. when we have so many, we needed so many app developers, right? Because Google Play Store and app stores went, through the roof. Everyone was making apps, etc. We were also not ready for that change because we didn't have the expertise. We didn't have the people who were experts in that field, and now we have many, right? So it's really up to government to kind of control this. This important section, right? It has to create new potential jobs. So, on the other hand, yes, potentially many people can lose jobs, but also on the other hand, there will be many jobs, new jobs created, right? Especially when it comes to any kind of creation. I tried using examples from people that would potentially come to this conference, and there is endless examples, right? From sales, from content creators, to entertainers, to chefs, etc. All of this you will see that will raise in demand. Okay, cool. His last thought, right, was, he said this, and this was scary, at least to me. He said, 85% of the jobs that will exist in 2030 don't exist today. I was like, wow, this fact is really crazy. So I'm going to read this one more time. 85% of the jobs that will exist in 2030 do not exist today. But also, on the other hand, I don't like just talking about these things. I like to back everything up and also, from my perspective, offer some solutions, right? So, solution that we talked about is to actually give skills to the people so they can be agile in the job markets of tomorrow, right? Give them skills so they can understand what is going on in the first place and also prepare them for this new path, because there will be many careers that will be or have to be changed, right? Okay, cool. So, second part of the presentation is on a micro level, right? Because we spoke about impact, we spoke about Edtech, why is technology important in education, etc. So I just don't want to be someone who's just, smart on stage, talking, have certain opinion and stuff. I want to show you that I also act when it comes to this. I will third time mention Dubai, and this is going to be last time. When I came, I was not in a great position. I had to, walk my way around it, and it took me 10 years to have a certain success where I can say I'm having quite a nice life. But I asked myself, how could I do the same thing in 5 years? And that's a normal question that everyone should ask themselves, right? So I was thinking, what can I do, and how can I improve, and how I can offer this type of a solution for other people, especially because the economy is changing rapidly. And I told myself, whatever I do in edtech space, in education space, myself, starting from me, and then my team, we want to stick to one very important thought. We want to make it accessible, right? So everyone can use it in the world, no matter where they are, because everything is on English, right? So that means it has to be online, it has to be available on devices, etc. And second thing, it has to be affordable as well. So we are sticking to that thought, because our platform that we are developing isn't going to be expensive. It's going to be somewhere around what you pay your phone bill on a monthly basis, right? So I have a question actually for the audience. So we can use examples. It's much better so you will understand what do we do actually, or what we are trying to do. Raise your hand if you heard a platform called Masterclass. Okay, quite a few, nice. What about Udemy? Have you heard of Udemy? Awesome. We are a hybrid of these two platforms, plus. We added up many other stuff because I find them a little bit outdated. So what we see as a problem now in edtech space, and if you're in that space, please memorize, take a photo of this slide because it's very crucial and important. Some of these platforms are having an issue because they're much more edutainment, right? That means, imagine that you are on edtech platform and you think you're learning, but you're just feeling a little bit smarter than watching Netflix, right? So we're trying to solve that issue by choosing niche topics and go deep dive so you can end up with some actual knowledge. Then legitimacy of lecturers, right? Let's say Udemy as a platform, anyone can be a creator there, anyone can be a mentor, and I think that's not good. Not everyone should be a mentor, etc. They also have issues with production quality, etc. And yeah, as you can see, we have fixed all these problems that I have mentioned. I'm checking time, so I want to rush a little bit more into it. So very important, we have 3 pillars in our platform that we want to cover. First one is the learning experience, right? We want to bring the best mentors that you can have in the world. I'm going to name the few. So let's say if you are in service business, let's say you have a marketing agency or a designer, whatever, any service industry. We have brought a mentor, his name is Eric Fulweiler, and he's the one who built Gary Vee's agency, for example. I think that's one of the biggest agencies in the world. If I'm not mistaken, their turnover is 300 million USD, etc. So we try to bring the best people. Let's say if we are talking about getting big contracts and soft selling, etc., we have someone who's called Jay French. And if you see the Museum of the Future, that very complicated but still very beautiful building that is worth of billions of dollars, he was the one who actually did that project for them, his company. Also, we have someone who is extremely cool, at least I find him. His name is Tim Kobe. He's the one who has built everything for Apple together with Steve Jobs. So he has a contract with them last 23 years. He has been with Steve Jobs last 12 years, etc., etc., etc. So that's the level of the people we're trying to bring there who can really educate the youth and the new workforce. Then the second pillar is about connecting people and having community. I think human touch can never be replaced. So we are organizing offline events, but also online, and we are having different platforms that we are using where people can communicate if they want to, find new friends, if they want to find investors, clients, whatever that is, right? We all have different needs and wants. And the third pillar is obviously we are hoping that this will lead you to a transformation that is hopefully life-changing for you. This is so you guys can visualize a little bit how it looks like. And of course, I have to admit that this presentation a bit was made with the help of ChatGPT, don't want to lie. So if you're checking, maybe you'll find some things. And yeah, if you want to get an early access to the platform or get a discount or something, feel free to take a photo of the email, of the link, and hopefully visit it. And we're gonna hope to see you there. I don't know, is there a space for Q&A? If not, Zeka will tell me. But I want to thank you for being a good audience. Hope I gave you some value and I ran through a few things. If you have more questions and you want to go and deep dive more of these things, I'll be very happy to find you outside of the stage and have a chat. Thank you very much. Thank you.